Canseco, and I did a video called 3 Tips for Dealing with Difficult People. And I did it a long time ago, and what I wanted to do was update it now for you. It's got thousands and thousands of views. So the ones I talked about in the other video are the tank, the person who rolls over you when you're trying to talk, the sniper who shoots in at you, and you're in a meeting and suddenly your coworker will tell the entire group, which includes your boss, that you have not been getting your projects in on time. Meanwhile, this individual has never had this discussion with you, so that's why I use the term sniper. You don't see it coming and you get attacked. And the other one was the gossip. I want to focus on the bully. The bully wants to go after somebody who is an easy target and who will take a lot of the nonsense that he or she happens to be giving out. And once you put yourself in a situation where you're not such an easy target. Now, what do some people do? They resort to humor, and they can make the bully laugh. I can't tell you how many comedians I've heard that tell me that that's why they became a comedian. That's why they became so funny, because they had been bullied and they found that that was a way that really worked. Trying to figure out what is the pattern with the bully is another thing that can help you and maybe pull you out of some of the emotional distress that you're in and looking at it from a more logical perspective. What's the pattern? What happens? You do this, he does that. You do this, she does that. There must be something going on there, and that may help you to be able to figure that out. How about the know-it-all? Ooh, this is one of my favorites. So you go into explaining something and this person contradicts you, or this person argues with you. The know-it-all really does know what he or she is talking about most of the time, at least in my experience, and they want that attention. So what I've learned to do in my personal life and then also in my professional life in my seminars is give them that attention and ask for their input. Or I say things like, correct me if I'm wrong, or what do you know about X, Y, and Z before I launch off into something? Or if this individual contradicts what I'm saying, especially in front of a group of people, I diffuse the situation by saying, okay, I've read things to the contrary of what you're saying, but many topics are controversial. Thank you for giving me that perspective. And again, what I'm trying to do is diffuse the situation. Is that going to work every single time? No, but that may help you. The whiner. The whiner, and this may be a friend of yours, this may be somebody who you work with, and all you hear all the time are the complaints and woe is me and life is horrible. Oftentimes what I say to this individual is even a broken clock is correct 2 times a day. So there must be something positive going on in your life. There must be something that you're happy about. What is it? Tell me about that, and let's take a break from whatever this situation is that's bothering you. If the person is complaining about a particular situation or a person over and over again, and I've really been depleted of all of my ideas and all of the ways I think I can help this individual, then I say that. And I say, you've already heard all of my opinions on this particular topic, and I'm open to hearing anything else that you may want to discuss or any other problem that you have, but I really don't want to discuss this topic anymore. What about the selfish one? And this is the person who just seems to think that the world revolves around him or her. And you can't seem to be able to talk about a situation or a problem or even something that brings you happiness without that individual making it about him or her. And what might be helpful is, let's say you go and you talk about a story, you explain something that's happening to you, and that individual says, oh, that happened to me, or, oh, I got a worse story for you, XYZ happened. What I do is most of the time, unless I'm in a really bad mood, I politely listen, and then I say, you know what, I really just wanted to talk to you about this particular situation, and you may be able to relate because you've been through something similar, but I really needed to talk to you. And sometimes I'm talking just because I need to hear myself say it out loud to process it, and that would be really helpful for me if you could let me do that and maybe give me some feedback without talking about your experiences in this particular situation right now. And then maybe later we can discuss how you've been through something similar. The no-show. This one, it's a really, really challenging situation when you can't count on this individual. So what I've done, and this doesn't always work. I mean, your friendship may end and you may not be able to deal with this person, or if it's a work-related situation, it's the same advice applies. You want to be really clear about your expectations. Sometimes if you find it necessary, write them down, put them in an email, jot them on a note. And the excuse you may use if this is in a personal setting, why did you write it down, is, well, I just didn't want to forget. I wanted to go over this. And then hand the note to the person and say, you know, this is just for you to keep. So, you know, I wrote this down for myself so I would remember to go over all these things with you, but I'm going to go ahead and let you keep this. And, you know, of course, you have a copy. You have them written down somewhere for yourself, so that later you can go over it with this particular person and be as factual as possible. I find that when you're dealing with a no-show and you use absolutes like, you never help me, you're always unavailable, you lose credibility. They'll mention the one time that they came through for you. Meanwhile, you've come through for this individual time and time again. But they'll make a big deal out of that one time. So staying factual, staying logical with this person would really help out, not getting emotional. Now that, depending on who this person is to you, that may be easier said than done. But I find that that's the best way to handle that. The last one I want to go over with you is the soap star. And this is the person who's so dramatic and definitely exaggerates, loves to use absolutes, always, never, never quantifies anything with any type of logical, well, they might say, well, 1 million. Well, okay, that's a quantity, but probably not a realistic quantity depending on what we're talking about. But most likely when people say 1 million, they don't literally mean 1 million. Be as factual and logical as possible. One thing that might help you is to realize that people like that are suffering unnecessarily. They may even be chemically addicted to their own emotions. They love to use the word literally. Literally. Oh, last night I was so tired. I literally died. You literally died? How are we having this conversation? Are you here from the great beyond? Use humor. Asking that individual to stop using adjectives may help, and just to give you the facts. Like, tell me what happened without any interpretation, without any story. For example, yesterday I arrived at the store at 9 o'clock. XYZ happened. Just the facts. This is just an overview of everything that I wanted to update my other video with and guide you on. So love to hear your feedback, and if you have any additional tips, please write them to me and let me know what's worked for you, or if there's some advice that I've put in here that you don't think works. Be constructive in your criticism and let me know why it didn't work, and then maybe I wasn't clear in how I explained it, and I can give you a little bit more advice, or I can explain it in a different way. Thank you.